go. We're back to Man United Agenda, and I know it's Champions League night, but we're not in the Champions League, so we do a preview for our game tomorrow in Europa Champions League. Is it called Europa Champions League or Europa League?
Oh, Europa League, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Nothing spicy about that. So welcome to Bath Time. Welcome to Stefan. Stefan, you've done a show tonight, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I'm just off it. Yeah, it went all right. It was good to see a few people. So I feel like most people are watching the football, though.
Yeah, it seems that right now. Did you do a preview? Are you talking about the game tomorrow?
Yeah, kind of just a little catch up and then a little bit about tomorrow's match. And then I think we got stuck into like a rant about Mourinho for a bit. And it was all good. It was all good.
Okay, we might be doing the same tonight. We've got the same ideas. Yeah, great minds think alike. There's a lot.
I'm warmed up,
tonight, isn't there, about Fenerbahce? And I'm joined at Bath Time as well. Bath Time, how are you doing? Are you having a good day?
Yeah, I am. I'm having a very good day. Thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm a bit tired. Like I think we all said backstage we're tired, aren't we? For some reason.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely knackered. Okay. I reckon I think it's the lack of sunshine.
Yeah.
Days getting in, like I get up in the morning, I've got to put my high vis suit on to go out running. Like it's just miserable, isn't it? I want to go and live in like Buenos Aires again or something, not fucking Wales.
To be fair, I think summer in the UK is not too bad. What we need to do is plan 6 months summer, spring and summer here, and then spend the autumn and winter somewhere hot.
Back to the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah. That would work for me, you know.
But we didn't get a summer. It has to be one of the worst summers ever this summer.
You reckon?
It was never.
A couple of weeks where it's not bad. Even today.
A couple of weeks.
Even today was quite sunny. The sun was out at least for a period of time. You know, it's still quite warm out there. It's like, what's it like in Northern Ireland? But here it's about 10, 14 degrees here.
It's not bad. It's been rainy. We had the storm, and now it's gone. So yeah, I mean it's 12.
It looks like it's t-shirt weather for you, Stefan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's always t-shirt weather for me. Always is.
Stefan, not to be nosy, but you got a loft conversion. Are you in a loft?
Am I in a loft? No, this is just my bedroom.
You got one of those windows. Looks like a roof window.
Yeah, the house was a bungalow, and now it's not.
Okay.
Obviously, because I'm not here. Obviously.
All right, so let's move. Let's speak to the guys in the chat because the first man on board is Jeff, who's in sunny Texas. He's saying, Pastor Fred and Amrabat have a chance to show we discarded them. Big up to Andrew Williams as well. How you doing, Andrew? Big up to I Am Titanium. Fred Dino. That's a good one. Reunion. Obviously, Mourinho as well. Spent most of my day in bed, unfortunately. Why is that, Andrew? I hope you're in good health. Thank you, Jeff. He's saying I'm sharing a show on X, which is Twitter, I believe. Rain Loads, says Andrew, who's in Wales, I believe. He said this has been one of the rainiest years I can remember. I had countless golf rounds cancelled. Oh dear. And sunny and 88 degrees in Texas, 60 at night. This is beautiful. That is lovely weather, isn't it?
Yeah, we need to use the correct system, though.
Yeah. No, definitely.
We need Celsius, not Fahrenheit. This is just gobbledygook.
Okay. I want to say hi to Stephanie. She started with the likes. Thanks, Stephanie. Appreciate you so much. And she's saying big up to the guys in the chat. And big up to Bart as well. Bart is here. And tonight, guys, we are talking about Fenerbahce. And we got a big connection. There's lots to talk about. A lot of former players, former managers playing for them. So yeah, we will go in right now. Big up, We Deserve Better as well. How you doing? And he's giving us some love. All right, first of all, before I even go there, just got a story to catch up on. This came out today. It's about Simone Inzaghi. Apparently, this is a rubbish source, but I put it out there with a question mark. He's agreed to join Man United. The Man United board quite impressed with the work that Simone's been doing at Inter Milan, and they are keen on bringing him into Old Trafford, according to a report in Italy. The Italian manager has already given the green light to lead the Manchester-based club starting next season. He's guided the Italian Giants to the Serie A title last season, and under their leadership, under his leadership, they fought in the Champions League final the year before that. Inzaghi has an attractive and attacking style of play, and he has helped Inter re-establish themselves as one of the best sides in Italy. He has given them the green light and details of a potential move, as expected, to take shape in the coming weeks. The 48-year-old, same age as me, has only held 2 meetings with United board, but has already held 2 meetings with United board. They seem excited that they will be the new boss and have promised an almost unlimited budget, rubbish, to improve the squad and a massive 3 long-year deal as well. Just looking at his record there as well, I know it's in Italy and he's in one of the bigger clubs, but they did reach the final, they have won the league. They score goals, 168 games played, 110 wins. You know, that's not bad. And he's doing pretty well. He was in the shadow of his brother, who we spoke about, Filippo, as a footballer, but as a manager, he's been shining really well. One of the best Italian managers out there with Conte, I imagine. So what do you think about that, Stefan, being linked with Inzaghi? I know it's a BS story, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I like watching his Inter team. I thought they were really good last season. He's a good coach. It just depends, like, because I know some people wouldn't be the biggest fan of playing like a 3 attack or the kind of ideas of 3-5-2 coming in. It would be something very different to what we have at the minute and what we have had pretty much throughout our history. But I mean, we've got to change something. Like, so maybe this is it. I don't know, but I think like they score goals, they've picked up results. Champions League final one season, winning the league title the next season, that's pretty impressive. If they win Serie A again, that's impressive. And then I don't know though, like it does feel like there's a conversion issue coming from Italy to the Premier League in terms of players and possibly coaches as well in some regards. But I do think he's a good coach, and it would be one to watch out for. And I'm sure he'd be on a list. I wouldn't be like protesting if he became the manager or they wanted him, but we'll see what happens. It's maybe not the best source, but maybe it's something to keep an eye out on, because the manager market is getting pretty thin at the minute. And if we are going to make a change this season or at the end of the season, it's got to be somebody. So it could be Inzaghi.
Well said. Well said. I was going to call you Simone, Steve. Stefan Inzaghi. Let's go over to the other brother of Inzaghi. Inzaghi brother. It's bath time, Inzaghi. Let me know.
Okay. I think that this is complete bollocks.
And why?
Absolute bollocks. Because like I haven't seen this. Look, he's rumoured to have turned us down twice. First of all, like when you look at a 3-5-2, despite the fact that system is awful and United shouldn't be playing it, you need 2 strikers. We don't have the money to go out and buy 2 top quality strikers, wing backs, centre backs, all this kind of stuff. And then they say unlimited budget. We've had to cut 250 jobs from the club. Like, I can't believe that we're discussing this. That story is bullshit.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw it up just to stir you up. And get you
you have. I'm awake.
Yeah. Well, I've done what I intended to do. Big up. Just go for a few comments about this. Obviously, it's not really a good source, as Stefan was saying there. Inzaghi's a good coach. His Lazio teams won a couple two during Juve Allegri dominant years. However, he likes to back 3, something which would involve a massive United overhaul. That's from Bart, and he is a serious fan. He should be watching your game, Liverpool. Yeah. Jeff's saying here it'd be a total failure. He doesn't the Premier League moving, and the fact that any team in the table can beat you. Teams here don't stop after 70 minutes. In Iron Tight Aim said, bring in his brothers for the striker positions. Let's hope Inzaghi can do a much better job than Ten Hag, says Simon Warner. Bart again said, don't possibly buy this report as it says, unlimited budget. I found that funny too. Something United cannot possibly offer with no Champions League football, stadium repairs and debt as well. And he's getting a high five from Andrew. Totally agrees with that as well. And we got a funny one here. This is Inzaghi. His twin brother's better. Inzaghi, Outzaghi. Really poor.
Shake it all about Zaghi.
Okay, that's enough on that one. Let's get on with the game. Come on, we've got 10 likes so far. Make sure you press the like button for us, guys. Let's get on with this. So obviously we're playing Fenerbahce. So much to talk about, and the first thing is the manager. He's been flapping his lips, and here's what he had to say. Trust me, I'll just skim over this. Reunited with Jose, former Man United manager Jose has cheekily claimed that he's not giving up hope of earning a title winning bonus from 2018 because he thinks Man City are going to lose their legal case. United finished second in 2018, which was Mourinho's final full campaign in charge at United. Should the club be found guilty, they could be stripped of silverware. During the period concerned, Mourinho was asked about his old club before his current return to the current team, Fenerbahce, Europa League encounter with Man United at Istanbul on Thursday. He mischievously made reference to legal situation with this city, which is being dealt with by an independent disciplinary commission that has unlimited sanctioning powers. He says, as you know, we won the Europa League in 2017 and we finished second in the Premier League in 2018. Not bad, is it? He said, I think we still have a chance to win that league because maybe they punish Man City with points and maybe we win the league. And then they have to pay me a bonus and give me a medal as well. Cheeky, isn't he, Stefan?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past us at the time to have had like some massive bonus out there for winning a league anyway. This was during the Woodward year, so that's very much a possibility. Yeah, it's just tongue-in-cheek stuff anyway with Mourinho, but I'm positive that he would absolutely love to beat us tomorrow. And he'll be right up for it. Fenerbahce will be up for it. Their fans will be up for it. And I don't know, like our record away in Europe has been very questionable, very frustrating as well. You know, we tend to score a few goals and then somehow lose the lead in the last, well, this season and last season. So we'll see. They'll be right up for it. Mourinho will be up for it. And they might play some really, really ugly football as well tomorrow. You know, Mourinho's he's there to get the 3 points. That's all he really cares about in tomorrow's match. But certainly, like, he'll be right up for it. And you know, we just got to deal with that. That's another thing, I guess, that we have to deal with. On top of all our own problems, you know, Jose Mourinho's just going to add to that as well tomorrow.
Most certainly. I think bath time, with everything Mourinho says, as Stefan said there, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but there is something in it, isn't it? He sounds like a prophet years later with things that he comes out with. Now, what's his intention here, talking about, asked about Man United and saying, you know, he's mentioned here that he won the Europa League and he came second and he could have be getting a title-winning medal as well. Is that all about promoting himself, making himself look cool?
Yeah. I mean, like, look, Jose is one of the giants of European football. If there was a Mount Rushmore of the Premier League, Jose Mourinho is on that, like without question. He's one of the great characters in football, and he probably feels he shouldn't be at Fenerbahce. Like, and this is kind of reminding everyone of his CV. We saw it. Like, do you remember when he was running around shouting about three, saying that like all the other Premier League managers together didn't have as many titles as he?
That's right.
Things like that. This is what Jose does. He's a braggart, and I love him. I think he's fantastic, and he's the last person you want to face in a cup competition in Europe. To be honest,
Okay. Well, he spoke a lot. I mean, there's a little bit more here. He praised United for keeping faith with Erik ten Hag during a difficult spell. Mourinho managed to refer back to his own dismissal back in December 2018 after 2.5 seasons in charge. So similar time frame to what ten Hag's going through. And he said he praised them, Man United, for keeping with the manager. obviously, because he was sacked. I wish the best to Man United since the moment I left, he said. I left with a good feeling to the club and with good feeling to the fans. If things are not going amazingly well for them, it's not something that makes me happy. Okay, fair enough. It doesn't make sense for me to be thinking about what happened and what didn't happen. What happened for sure, because it's very objective, is they kept faith in the coach. They support the coach. The coach is staying season after season, and that means stability. It means trust, and they are giving him conditions to keep developing his job. That was different in relation to me. So, yeah, once again, very clever man, Mourinho. He's obviously stating here that our board are backing the manager, unlike him.
Yeah, it's good. I'm being distracted by the chat, to be honest. Like Andrew and Jeff. Have you seen this? They're having an argument, right? Do you know why it started?
I can't trace it now.
It's because Jeff was using Fahrenheit, which is a German word, and they're now both arguing that without each other, they'd be speaking German. But it started because one of them was speaking German. So I found that quite funny. But be nice to each other, lads. I think that this is PR from Jose again, Yaba. He understands how big Manchester United are. I look at Jose fondly. I'm not sure if the rest of the fan base do, but you know, he got a second, but we were nowhere near a league. You know, the Europa League at the time was something we were a bit, I don't know, snobby about. I think it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't that impressive to beat Ajax and so on. And I just think that, like, you look at the team he had and stuff, and I'd give my legs now to have like that team. I mean, when we get to the solo 11, there's absolutely no question about what the midfield is because we've only taken 3 midfielders to Turkey. It's ridiculous. But I think that this is once again, this is probably Jose looking for a job, like a better job than Fenerbahce. He's been very diplomatic here, like, and supporting a fellow manager.
I mean, what do you think, Stefan? Because Jack Sports saying here, Jose would have done well if he'd stayed. He's obviously, praising for United for keeping with the manager after 2.5 years when he got sacked. And oh boy, Ten Hag is staying on. So, how do you think Jose was as a manager? Do you think if he would have stayed and got backed, we would have continued to and eventually won a league under him?
No, I don't think so. I think when you look at Mourinho's entire career, it's typically 3-year cycles. First season, he'll come in, he improves things, signs some players, you move up the table. Second season, you go for the league title. And third season, it tends to just fall apart. He seems to fall out with the board, with the players, and it did seem very toxic at the time. But going back to what Bathan was saying, that was a good team that Mourinho had, and that we had actually built with a nice balance in the midfield. We have Matic, Herrera, Pogba. That's a good midfield. That is a good midfield.
McTominay.
Yeah, McTominay was in there. Fred was in there probably as well.
He never played Fred.
We'll get to at some point. Yeah, true. That was the mystery one because we signed Fred for like 50 million, and then Jose just didn't play, and that was the summer signing. Yeah. It was Lee Grant and Fred. That was I think we might have got Dallo as well, who didn't play. So I think that was it. So, but no, I think when Mourinho went, it was the writing was kind of on the wall. I think that Anfield loss, even looking back, we've had worse defeats by Liverpool since then. Yeah. But that just felt so depressing. Like the players just didn't want to be there either. But yeah, like if it didn't happen in season 2, it wasn't going to happen for him. And I think City won the league by like 13 or 14 points or something. Yeah. It wasn't close. So yeah,
do you think it would have been different? Do you think it would have been different, lads, if instead of Moisey, we'd got Jose?
Would we be like time, though? He wasn't at Real Madrid at that time. 2013.
He came back to Chelsea that summer.
He'd just been fired by Chelsea, hadn't he?
Oh, right. Okay.
No, I think he just
just been fired by Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And he went to Chelsea like the summer that Moyes took over.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think he was on the market, and we would have gone for him if Fergie hadn't have pushed. I think Fergie and Charlton, Sir Bobby, pushed very, very hard for Moyes, because Charlton in particular said that Jose he just didn't have the character to manage Manchester United. He was too much of a live wire, and he said too many controversial things. But I'd love a like alternative future where I could have seen what had happened if Jose had taken over, because I think I really think that is the big mistake. That's the big mistake United have made, is that Jose should have come in to replace Fergie.
Okay, tough one. All right, last one for Jose. Now, you talk about the game, and obviously Fenerbahce aren't doing too well. There's two big clubs, basically, in Turkey. That's Galatasaray that we know about, and Fenerbahce. A couple other clubs as well, Besiktas and all these teams, but they're not that as big as these two. But you expect him to be doing better. He's got a high-profile manager, and he's off the pace at the moment. So he's under a bit of pressure in Turkey. So he says he was unaware that he'd never lost a home game against United. In all his career, he's never lost at home to United, whether that be at Chelsea, Real Madrid, or wherever, Inter Milan, if we played them during his time. I'm not sure. But he pointed out that previous encounters with them were with big clubs, and said Fenerbahce would require the help of 35,000 home supporters in the stadium to stand any chance of victory. Wow, played it down. We're going to try, and we can do it, but there is a gap. Wow. He's really sort of bashing his club here. And Mourinho is already encountering some criticism with Fenerbahce, 8 points adrift of old rivals Galatasaray in the Turkish league. He said he would take advice off local journalists before finalising his lineup with the United game. I mean, Mourinho is a legend, man. He's bashed his club here. He said there's a huge gap. He said the only way they can win is by getting the fans behind him. And previous encounters, were with bigger clubs than Fenerbahce. What's going on here? How do you think? Is he looking for the sack or something, or is he just trying to play reverse psychology, Stefan? What's going on with Mourinho, man? I find this hilarious.
Yeah. I feel like this is just more of the tongue in cheek, and it's just a character. Like I think that's what it's about, and like he's always been this way. Like, we had the special one. There was talk about him being suspended from the dressing room, sneaking in one of the big baskets on wheels that they bring the washing in and stuff. that he hid inside one of them. These are all stories we have with Mourinho waiting outside the referee's car after a Real Madrid match. This is just Jose being Jose, and I think that's just it's just more tongue in cheek stuff. He's always had to go with the press, as Batham said. We had the listing off of his CV, 3 Premier Leagues for him, 2 for all the other managers in the league at the time, and he's just always been that kind of character. But yeah, I mean, there's not enough football characters like that around anymore, so it is kind of refreshing. But I'm hoping that he won't do a number on us tomorrow, but we'll find out in about 24 hours time, I'd say, how we're going. So
we know about the fan base out there. Is it wise of him to be sort of saying all this, that they're a smaller club? He's done it with bigger clubs, and there's a gap, or is this just trying to get reverse psychology to say if he does lose, then he'd say he's a weak club or something like that? Bath time. I mean, can you break this down? What's Mourinho doing here? What's he trying to play at?
I think there's a couple of things going on here. Number one is that Jose's back in the spotlight. His spiritual home, I think, is England. Still keep a house here and things. And he's getting attention again. So he's playing up a little bit. But also, as I'm sure we're going to talk about, the Greeks, man, are wild. And I don't think they need psyching up. But Jose is psyching them up. And what he's so good at doing is building a relationship between him and the fans. He's done it at Chelsea, he's done it at Roma, and the clubs he's failed at, he hasn't been able to build that relationship. I think that Jose knows exactly what he's doing. He's putting themselves as underdogs, but also giving a rallying cry to the home support. And look, with all this stuff about Galatasaray are levels ahead of Fenerbahce. I think that they've got like Osimhen in there. We saw them last year destroy Old Trafford essentially. Like, it's going to be very difficult for Jose to get anything out of the league. So I think that the other important thing is that it's a lot easier to get out of this Europa League than it is normally. Like, the pressure is kind of off for these games, as it were. And so Jose, I think he's just enjoying himself being back in the spotlight with one eye over maybe, I don't know, Newcastle United, somewhere like that.
Yeah. I don't know if he can get a big job anymore. His reputation is sort of gone down. He's not the man he used to be, as they say. Jeff saying here, Turkey is a tough place to play, no doubt about it. Bart saying Jose wouldn't have won the title if he'd stayed and signed Maguire. As City and Liverpool getting 95 points would have been too much for his United. Jose was toxic, says we deserve better. Forwards, Rashford, Garnacho, Zerchi and Haaland. That's for tomorrow. We've got Chat Sports saying if Jose was toxic, why is Ten Hag wanted gone? Stephanie saying here, Jose was free, so Bobby Charlton didn't want him. We deserve better, saying Jose was waiting for the job and apparently was very upset he didn't get it. I heard that as well. Jose will make this game difficult, says Chat Sport. We deserve better, saying here he's ensuring that the fans do their job in making it a hostile environment, as well as being underdogs to take the pressure off as well. Jose could cause an argument in Gary Moore's empty rooms, says Stephanie.
Who's Gary Moore?
I don't know. Stefan, do you know Gary Moore?
Yeah, he's a guitarist, musician. I think he might have been Thin Lizzy.
Okay.
I think he's in that band. I'm near sure of it.
All right. We've got Simon Warner saying we've played Fenerbahce 6 times and both sides have won 3 times as well. So Andrew Williams saying all I've seen in previews, people saying Fenerbahce are in chaos and we will win. Once again, makes me think, do they not think United are in chaos as well? All right, talking about chaos. And before we do, I'm not talking about chaos with this guy, but it is Rich Sports in the house. So go to him. Rich, how you doing? Mourinho just said the truth, didn't he? He's saying there. Big up to you guys. Let's talk about chaos, because this is it. When you go to Turkey, the fans really make a difference, don't they? Turkey never really, I think, have Galatasaray won a European trophy? I know they've been to finals. Have a Turkish club ever won a European trophy?
Possibly when it was UEFA Cup, maybe.
Didn't they beat Arsenal?
Was that Naeem? I thought, was that not Real Sociedad?
No, that was not that. That was Spanish side. Did Galatasaray beat Arsenal? No, I think Arsenal beat Parma. So I think Galatasaray beat Arsenal once in the final. So it's not, they haven't got prestige in Europe.
I'll check.
Yeah, but saying that, I mean, when we go back to the 1990s, you have to remember we had Ince, Cantona, Fergie, Brian Robson, all these guys. We were greeted with this sign, "Welcome to Hell." And this stands to this day as a significant moment for the side. You really had to show how big your balls were in an environment like this. Playing Galatasaray in the Champions League in the 1990s with Fergie's manager. As you can see here, Ince, just clarify backstage, he wasn't afraid to show his face. He was that's just his ritual, isn't it? Coming out last and putting a shirt on just as he enters the pitch. But he must have been nervous, a bit like the time when we were playing Barcelona in the Cup Winners' Cup final in '91, I think it was. Ince apparently was vomiting. He was so nervous in the change room. But yeah, welcome to hell. We remember this. Well, those of you old enough do remember this. What an experience for these players, and a hostile fire. The fans really made it difficult for Man United. Didn't let them sleep in the hotel. Death threats, all kinds of things were going on, and it's an experience they will never forget. Nightmare.
Looks fantastic, doesn't it? I'd love
I think it was more genuine back in the day. These days, you got more security, everything. But back then, I think the players didn't feel safe, and And it didn't have an effect because they got a result that day. I think it was 3-3 or something like that. So what do you think it'll be the same with Fenerbahce, Stefan? Welcome to hell. It's Turkey, big club. I mean, are they? They're not going to greet us and with.
Hopefully they spell it right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be an easy match, and they're definitely going to be up for it. Like, I even think Galatasaray last season away was a very hostile crowd as well. So I suppose the good thing is we know what we're we know what we're walking into. We know what it's going to be like ahead of time. It's just, how do we deal with it? Do we deal with it? Can we deal with it? I think these are more the questions that we need to be asking about. But we'll literally just see how we go. Like, it's hard to predict with us in Europe at the minute. Last season, very up and down results. Same again this season. 2 draws from 2 matches. Matches that we should have went on and won. So anything could happen tomorrow. I'm expecting goals. I think Fenerbahce have scored quite a few. I think they've conceded quite a few. Obviously, we're not exactly keeping the goals out ourselves. So it'll be entertaining at least. But it might be a nervy match as well.
Most certainly. I mean, look, Cantona says here, taking on the riot priest. That was fire, says Stephanie. I mean, what a tough guy, braving it out like that. You laughed at bath time. Would you like atmosphere like this? Would you like to play in
Yes, I would. I don't like the fact they've spelt welcome incorrectly on the sign. That would get to me. But I checked. Galatasaray won in 2000, and then they actually went on to win the Super Cup after that. So they won UEFA Cup 2000. And I completely forgot, Yaba. We said last night we were gonna ask the chat about the first film they saw in the cinema.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So get that in, lads. And apparently Erling Haaland has scored a wonder goal, like an absolute wonder goal, a volleyed back heel. But yeah, I would love to play in this kind of atmosphere. I think it gets the best out of you, this kind of thing, like real, like adversity and hostility, and like you've got to like come together and support your teammates and go out there and perform as a team, which makes me think that these useless gobshites are going to absolutely crack under this pressure.
So it is intimidation, isn't it? I mean, last season we were 2-0 up at Galatasaray. And do you think it was the fans that turned it around for Galatasaray that day? Or do you think it's just to do with us being poor and not having any bottle?
Combination.
Yeah, combination. I think, what was it? 3? So the 3-2 was at home. I think away was 3-3 maybe. But I remember that match as well. I'm pretty sure that Casemiro card came from a really stupid, sloppy pass. It might have been Onana with a really bad pass, and Casemiro obviously couldn't get back and just sort of jumped into a tackle or something. But yeah, like that's what we can't afford tomorrow as well. You know, we're talking about sticking together and stuff. We can't afford sloppiness or silly mistakes or just giving goals away either, because we will get punished for it.
Yeah,
we were set up poorly as well, like in every one of those European games. Like, I mean, our European record last year was we were out before Christmas, like the most goals conceded, the least goals scored by an English team. Like, we were dreadful. And a lot of it was to do with the way the manager set the team up. And a lot of it was because the players were absolutely dreadful. So I'm always worried about us playing in Europe with this squad.
Okay. I say okay. Fred, he talked about his time at United. Obviously, he's playing for Fenerbahce now. Fred, a legend for solo. Errol. He's saying here, despite the cold, because it's really cold here, talking about Manchester, there were 5 great years in Manchester. I felt welcome there. My first child was born in England. I made many friends in the coaching staff, the physios, some players, he says. They are here in Turkey. This is, we said, in 2023. When they played against our arch rivals, Galatasaray, I visited them in the hotel room, probably set the alarms off so they couldn't get their sleep. If I am here now, I think Fenerbahce, I thank Fenerbahce. Sorry, I'm not reading this well, am I? It's too small. if I'm here now, I thank Fenerbahce, but I also have to thank Manchester United a lot for everything I experienced there, for my development as a player and as a person. It will be great to see all those guys again, all the friends I left there, but I hope we win. I cheer for them, I follow the club, but now I hope that Fenerbahce wins. It will be tough, but I hope we win with the support of our fans, which will be very important. Once again, emphasizing the fan base and how they can have an effect, especially at home in Fenerbahce. So Fred we're meeting up with Fred again. He said he's got some friends. Charles was born there. Just the first thing he says about Manchester is damn cold. He is Brazilian. I mean, but yeah, it's going to be definitely hot.
Wasn't he playing in Siberia when we signed him? Like, was he?
Yeah, we got him from Shakhtar's.
Well, he deserves living playing in Turkey. Then I'm sure he's enjoying it, enjoying the sunshine and the thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. So yeah, that's Fred. He's sort of talking about his time at United there. We're going to go to the Fenerbahce side.
I want to hear the first film you saw in the cinema, Yaba.
You know, I was trying to think about it. It's either
Citizen Kane.
I remember seeing E.T. when it first came out. I remember seeing Star Wars and Jaws in the cinema, but I was really young. So I think the first time I can really remember, because I remember they used to smoke in cinemas back then. It was really smoke everywhere. They used to have like on the seats ashtrays and things like that, you know. But the one I really clearly remember was E.T. And then after that, I used to go quite regular. I remember seeing Police Academy and things like this. Obviously, this is PG because it's like early 80s, very early 80s. So I think E.T. would be my first film that I really remember going to see and remember watching it.
Star Wars was 77.
Yeah, but The Empire Strikes Back came out a couple of years later. Maybe it was that. And Superman 2 as well, I saw as a child. But yeah, what about you guys? First film you went to cinema to see?
I think it was A Bug's Life. Like maybe I'm showing that. That's what I think it was. So like, I don't know if anyone's even seen Bug's Life, but like,
I have.
You have all of the little bugs, and you have these grasshoppers, and there's less of the grasshoppers, and they were like bullying the bugs out of their food and stuff. And then they were like, "There's more of us than there is of them," and like it was like a whole communist revolution of the bugs and stuff. And it was that was
It
my
was about
first
communism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is a film called Ants with, I think it's Woody Allen and Sylvester Stallone, and that's also heavily pro sort of communism as well. Like, it's
many
crazy,
of the ants that I've seen, and I'm thinking of that. It's whatever one that was. It had the grasshoppers and all in it.
No, it's had ants in it.
I'm sure someone can tell me.
There's one of those films, either Ants or the one you mentioned, where there's a speech which basically outlines what the government is doing today, you know, about tricking the masses into thing. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to get into politics and things like that. Halftime, first film you ever seen in the cinema?
I think it was Babe, the talking pig.
Okay.
It was either that or Toy Story. My memory is sort of muddled about which one I saw first. But I know I got kicked out of Toy Story.
Why would you get kicked out of Toy Story?
I got too excited.
As in
what? My mum had to calm me down in the toilets.
Oh wow. To Infinity and Beyond. Is that a line from that film? Yeah. It is,
yes.
Yeah. Tom Hanks is voiceover in that, isn't he?
No. Yes, he's Woody.
Yes, he's Woody.
Yeah, that's right.
It's Tim Allen who does To Infinity and Beyond.
Okay. What's the best animated film you guys have seen?
Oh.
Animated?
Yeah.
I like The Snowman.
Yeah. Quality, that's good.
I like the Into the Spider-Verses. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Miles.
More recent one, Miles Morales. Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I've watched, my son came out, he's well into that, and I got a Fire Stick, so we watched that together, and I actually enjoyed it. It was okay. Bit extreme. But anyway, let's go.
I like South Park.
Yeah, South Park musical.
Yeah. South Park the musical. Yeah.
Narnia in this country, but it was an Iranian film when I was living there with my family as a kid. That's Titanium. What else? Other film? I've seen a couple here. Oh, here we go. Simon Warner is born in 1963, so the first time he went to cinema was 1978 for Grease. You're the one I want. You are the one I want. Woo, 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 woo. At 15 years old, who had a crush on Sandy? I bet Simon did. Rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. Ghostbusters was the second film I saw. Says we deserve better. Jungle Book or Sleeping Beauty as well. Is there any more? Oh, here we go. My brother and uncle chose Indiana Jones. I flew through a hissy fit because I wanted to see Super. Yeah. South Park, the movie. That's
yeah.
Coraline. I don't know. Flashpoint, brilliant. Oh, Bart, we need to talk. Flashpoint animated movie. That's brilliant.
What is that?
It's DC. I'm a big comic fan, and I love all the animated series of DC make. DC in the cinema are poor, but when it comes to animation, they are brilliant. And Flashpoint is one of the best movies, no doubt about it, because Flash can tap into the Speed Force and go back in time, and he messes everything up. And it's just really doom and gloom, that movie, but it's absolutely brilliant as well. Miles Morales, no doubt about it. Best animated movies, Jungle Book, says Simon Warner, and Goku versus Broly was cool. All right, let's look at this team now, because this is what we're coming up against. So let's spot some players that we recognise. Let's talk about them. Starting in goal, I do recognise Linkanovic, whatever he used to play for. If Dora was here, she'd help us out on this one. I'm sure.
I think he played for Zagreb.
Yeah, Zagreb. Yeah,
he's the Croatian goalkeeper, I think. So
yeah. I don't know. So it looks like he's the main man. He's starting. The ones in yellow look like the guys who start these games. Going beyond that, look at the defence. I recognise someone as centre back there, ex-Premiership.
Yeah, Soyuncu.
Yeah,
is that Soyuncu?
Yeah,
I quite liked him, and then he turned out to be rubbish.
I think Diego Simeone fancied him at Atletico Madrid as well, but he's ended up in his homeland playing for Fenerbahce. I don't know the other centre back or the other four guys there. But let's look at the fullback situation, because obviously they lost their left back stroke right back, the Turkish international. He's gone to Brighton. So I don't know who Jaden is, or Toxic.
Kostic, I know.
Kostic, yeah.
Is it Juve, I think?
Juve and Bayern?
Frankfurt he used to play for. Yeah, he won.
He's got good pedigree, like Kostic.
And
I
the
think
other
he's
side,
Croatian as well.
Serbian. He'd be Serbian, I think.
Serbian,
yeah.
Maybe it is.
But he's a winger, isn't he? But they've got him down sort of as a left back or something here, depending on the system. Happy to defence that one or two recognisable players. But let's go to the number 6, and obviously let's talk about this Shetland pony. I'll go over to you, Barton, because you know him so well. You love to talk about him. Amrabat, and now he's on loan there from Fiorentina. We decided not to take him back, and now we're coming up against him. I mean, he's got something to prove, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like he didn't train at Fiorentina. He demanded to get his move here. So he's probably a bit pissed off that we didn't sign him. Like he won us a cup. He was a good lad when he was here. I didn't think that he was particularly good. But he'll have something to prove. He's on loan, so he's kind of out looking for a contract. And to be honest, with the midfield we're putting out, he knows them. He might fancy his chances. I just don't think that he's a very good player, so I'm not all that worried about him.
Anything to add to that? And before we go into the midfield, over to you, Stefan, because the other two midfielders, do you know much about them? We spoke about one.
Yeah, look, I would say the same about Amrabat. I think he was a professional. I think he worked hard. Very limited player. I don't think he was what we wanted him to be, and I don't think we should have signed him. But it's kind of like Batham said, like after 2 seasons of kind of not training at Fiorentina, he can't really go back at this point. So he needs a permanent move from somewhere. So he'll have something to prove tomorrow night, I'm sure, and he'll probably have a really good match, because everybody who plays against us, who are former players, always seem to score or play really well against us. So I'm sure Amrabat will drop a 10 out of 10 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know Fred. I don't know the other guy there, but Fred's got something to prove as well. Obviously, he's spoken a lot about this game. Surely, I mean, even so far, there's nothing that's been super scary for me. from the defence and midfield. But let's look at the wingers. We know a few of these guys.
We know Tadic. Like I think Tadic is pretty decent. He used to go at Southampton and Ajax. Yeah. Like and Chelsea.
No,
I'm not sure.
No,
I think.
I know.
One? He didn't. Are you sure?
No.
I thought he did.
Tadic. No, he never played
so.
Chelsea.
All right. Well, he's a left foot cutting merchant, but he's extremely good at set pieces. He's a good striker of a football, and we don't want to be giving away free kicks with someone like that on the pitch.
Yeah.
Alan StMaximin, I mean, he's a very, very silly footballer. He'll do a couple of like fun tricks and things, but I'd expect very little end product from him. Fred and Amrabat, you can get at those two. I love Fred, but Fred and Amrabat is an easy midfield to deal with, I feel.
Okay. Up front, obviously we know Dresco, whatever his name is.
Bosnian
international. And he scored. There's who put it here? Bart saying here. He scored against us for Wolfsburg. Scored against us for City as well, and for Inter and Roma. Long may the streak continue, from a Liverpool fan, Bart. But obviously, I don't think he's playing too much. He's getting on in age. So their striker is called El Nezri. He's really good on set pieces, says Bart. He bullied Leacher and Maguire in that game for Seville that United lost. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Did that ring any bells to you guys about this guy?
Yeah, both of them we should be scared of because they're both very, very good in the air.
Right.
Like Dzeko is a mountain. I tell you, the thing about this team is it's an old team.
Yeah.
Like Dzeko must be 36. Like El Nezri, 33, 34. Like they're good, experienced players, but I mean their real outlet, I suppose, is StMaximin. Like that's going to be the guy that kind of gets them out of trouble. You can push up very high against this team, I feel. Like there's not a lot of pace there, and I would quite like to see Delo go to be at right back for this game to deal with StMaximin. Like, is Mazraoui available?
We're going to find out now. I'll let you know now. But just quickly, overall, I'm not impressed. I thought I'd be more impressed because I heard him a lot of Premiership players and sort of known players. But you're right; they look old. Nothing super impressive in midfield or defence there for me. And up front, I think they're a bit static. Not going to be much movement. Jessica is 38 years old, apparently, says Simon Warner. I'm not impressed by this Fenerbahce team, and I think we should have enough to beat them away from home.
A lot of war horses there, though.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you asked about what we've got. This is the United squad that's travelling. Let's go through the goalkeepers. We expect Anana to play, but the Turkish international by ND, is this opportunity to think any chance of him playing, Stefan?
Yeah, he did come from Fenerbahce, so it's something of a homecoming. I don't think he's going to play. He did an interview during the week where he basically said that he's just working hard and hoping that he gets to play, but he's very clearly second choice, and we really don't even rotate the goalkeepers a lot in Europe or even in the cup competitions. I think he's played twice. He played against Newport last season, and then he played against Barnsley this season. So I think that's all he's played in 2 seasons. So I don't think we're going to see him tomorrow night at all.
Stefan, help me out here. Who is Habib Unai?
I think he's a fullback. Okay. Something tells me he might be a right back. I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm not familiar with this guy, but we have Harry Amat travelling, which is really promising. I think he's we know he's a left back, and it's a good opportunity for him. Are they going to throw him in this big game? They don't throw him in at home, domestic games, but at Fenerbahce away against some experience like that, he's there.
Not a chance.
No chance. I don't think so.
If Barnsley at home, yeah. Fenerbahce away with Jose, no.
Okay. All right. No real surprises there, but the one thing that does stand out, because we are going to do the solo 11 now, Who's going to be the midfield three?
Nice.
All right, shall we do the solo 11? We know who's on board, who's on the
Yeah.
plane. Let's do the solo 11. Obviously, Solo, the founder of this channel, we ask him every game to provide an 11 he thinks is going to start based on his experience, wisdom, and knowledge. And this is what he's gone with this time around, as you can see here. Away at Fenerbahce. Any surprises?
Wow. I agree 100% with Solo.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going with. I think it's the same team from the weekend, isn't it? Well,
Yeah.
bar Ugarte in for Bruno. I think that's
Is that the team you'd stick out though, Stefan?
I think midfield's going to have to pick itself. We've got 3 midfielders, and we need 3 midfielders on the pitch. So that kind of picks itself. I'm not too sure about any other options, really. I think we probably will go with Højlund up front from after scoring at the weekend. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I do. I think a lot just depends what Fenerbahce is going to do, because if they do sit back, there's 3 players who are going to want to run in behind there. So maybe you could see Xerxes, maybe, but that might be about it. I think that's what we get though.
Yeah, I'd agree. The only thing is like if there's Chelsea at the weekend. I also wonder if we might see a surprise and see something a bit mental like Martinez in midfield or Dalot. I wonder if he goes Casemiro, Dalot, and Eriksen.
What, to sort of, because of our lack of midfielders?
Yeah.
About the next game.
Yeah, I think so. Like Dalot has basically played a lot in central midfield this season. Like, I know obviously he's been at left back, but on the ball he's been playing in the centre of midfield to make a box. He had great success essentially playing as a winger against whoever we played last. I can't recall, but Brentford. I'd like to see Martinez dropped, to be honest, and anyone else come in. Maguire, Lindelof, not bothered. I'd really like to see Maguire for this game because I think it suits all of his strength. Was he part of the travelling squad?
No, I think he's injured.
So centre backs, we've got didnt, Lindelof, Maguire. Martinez. Just 3.
Yeah, that's a worry because Martinez and Lindelof are not good in the air, and that is their best.
Not.
That's their best route to goal. So, like, didnt has to start. I'm not sure. I mean, it's ridiculous. We've spent 600 million, and this is the squad that we're taking to Turkey. To be honest,
what about Maz? Because obviously he's coming back for some sort of heart issue. Is this an opportunity to play the left back, the youngster, or even the other guy that we mentioned as a fullback, rather than risk Maz so soon after coming back from such a worrying injury?
I don't think so. I would agree with Batham. If we're not playing Amat against Barnsley at home, I just can't see him playing against Fenerbahce away. I get, in the sense that, like, if it's Tadic on the right hand side, he's not going to knock the ball past him and run on. But that's going to open up different issues. And Tadic doesn't have pace, but he's smart enough, to operate well with what he's got, and his crosses are good. He will be putting early crosses into the box and stuff. But I think that's what we're gonna get. Unless and the only alternative I can see is that it's Dalot at left back and Lindelof at right back.
Okay.
Because we've seen that a few times, and I don't want to say it, but it's the only other thing I can come up with.
Well, it's an
do
away
you not
game.
think, right? Do you not think, Stefan, that he's going to, like, for this game in particular, I'm hoping for us to have a lot of the ball and to be high up the pitch. I think that you will probably get, from this team, you would get Casemiro, De Ligt and Martinez as the three at the back, and you've got Mazraoui and you've got Delo, sort of like Delo probably tucked in, Mazraoui pushed up. I wouldn't mind us to get a more attacking fullback in than Mazraoui for this. I'm not saying that is Lindelof, but I think the more I look at this team, the more there's got to be a change. I think Xerxes instead of Rasmus is a very, very good shout because, as you say, we're not going to have much space to run in behind and things like that. We're not really going to have many players in between the lines with Garnacho and Rashford. Maybe Xerxes is the guy that sort of comes in here, and we see Rashford and Garnacho much more central. I'm not sure, but I just
maybe
it. I mean, like Ahmad, Anthony. Who else is there? Wheatley.
I don't think it'd be Wheatley, but
yeah, we're stacked up front. It's just the midfield is a major concern and the fullback situation for me. But yeah, we have fullbacks there who could play, but lack of experience. Midfielders, if you want to rest players or bring someone in, like you said, possibly bring Dalot into midfield if you can. And then beyond that, you've got Amad as well. We haven't spoken about Amad. It's someone as well who could be effective if you're concerned about the game on the weekend and you want a bit of squad rotation. So there are opportunities there. I would start with Xerxes as well. I think if Xerxes is not starting in the league at the moment, I think you need to mix him up and give him some minutes. I don't know if you guys saw the training drill they were doing, little shuttle run into the middle cone, dropping the ball and running to the end. It was like you'll see it on Twitter or X. Xerxes is rapid. Forgive me if I've ever said he's lazy or slow. He burned everyone in this little drill. It's just little 10 yards shuttle run sort of thing. But he was sprinting like hell. And he looked sharp and quick. And there's all the comments were saying, you imagine what the comments were saying.
Trying to get out of Manchester.
Yeah, something like that. But they looked happy. And there's someone else was in the train. It was Malacia, his team.
And Shaw.
Oh, Shaw's on the grass again. I've heard that quote saying he's back playing.
He's grazing.
Yeah, grazing in the grass. But Malacia was there. He looked like he's almost close to coming back as well. So even though we look like we've got a weak squad here and vulnerable in certain positions, hopefully these guys are starting to come back.
I agree with you. Let's put Xerxes out. We're owed a performance. He's been whinging in the papers, apparently, about how he wants to move and things. Let's stick him in at the deep end and get a real performance out of him. Tell Rasmus you're going to start against Chelsea. Don't worry about that. You've scored 2 goals in 2 games. You're definitely starting against Chelsea. And we're going to bring you on against like Fenerbahce. But like Joshua, you've got an hour to go out and show you're a Manchester United player. And I don't want you prancing about. Like you're up against Fred and Amrabat. Get in there.
Okay. Score lines, guys. We could ask guys in the chat as well. Simon's going for 3-1. Xerxes, false 9. Xerxes. That's becoming a joke now, isn't it? Amos to come off the bench. The left back says, I am titanium. And Simon Warner saying here, Anthony will be on the bench. I can't see him coming on. Is he in the squad? Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. All right, he is there. So still doesn't think he's going to get a game. All right, what scoreline? Let's break this down. We've spoken about Fenerbahce. There's their squad there. We know what they're about. We know what they got. And then 12th man will be the fans as well. Obviously, we return. Welcome to hell. We know what that's really about. But is this really an old school Galatasaray team that can really put it on us, or a team like last season Galatasaray that beat us at home? This is Fenerbahce.
Well, they are Fenerbahce.
Yeah. It's a different team, but obviously it's the Turkish connection, isn't it? So I don't see enough in this Turkish team to really trouble us. Welcome back to Fred. Welcome back Amrabat and Jose Mourinho. But I think we're going to beat them maybe 3-1 away from home. That's what I'm looking for. What do you think, Stefan? Let's just have a scoreline from you before we shut this down.
I think there'll be goals. So I think both teams are going to score. I'm going to go. I'm going to go for an entertaining match. I think it'll be 3-2.
Okay, that's the same as we said on 3-2, but to Fenerbahce. Who are you going for? Stefan?
I'll go United. I'll go United.
Okay. We got a 1-1 here from Bart. We got a 4-2 win by Stephanie. Yeah, we're on the same page. I think we're going to beat them from what I've seen. 1-1 or 2-1 losses. Chat Sport 1-1 again here from Bart. Diamonds using their subs. Bath time. We've looked at the game. We've looked at Fenerbahce. We've looked at the history of playing it away in Turkey. We've recognised that Mourinho's never lost at home to United in any competitive fixture. With all that in mind, what's the score tomorrow?
Like, honestly.
Yeah, honestly. Not
0-0.
0-0.
Oh.
Neither team have got goals in them.
Okay.
Like, they're going to sit in a low block, and if they had pace, I'd be worried. But their pace is in StMaximin, who I don't think is particularly good. We're not good at scoring goals. Our most creative player won't be playing in Bruno. Our strikers just don't score. They're all really old and slow at Galatasaray. I just think it's going to be an awful 0-0 game.
Because you did mention earlier, there's not much really at this stage in the Europa League. It's not very competitive. There's nothing to really play for. So the 0-0 could be a possibility, but I think we've got something to prove, and I think we're going to go and win. But yeah, you've heard the scorelines here. We will be back tomorrow for the live watch along. Are you doing a watch along as well, Steph?
No, I'll not be home in time from work tomorrow, so I'll not have anything tomorrow.
Here. I'm working till 8 tomorrow, so I'm going to have to rush home to try and catch the game. But luckily, Mr. B will be covering the game tomorrow when he doing a live watch along again from his abode, and we're bringing the atmosphere and lots of jokes and animated expressions that we love to see from Mr. B. No doubt about it. We've got a 3-1 score here. Snap, as same as me, Jeff. Either way, I'm going for you. All right, so yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting game. Not as exciting as I first thought. I thought it'd be more exciting, but I'm just not impressed with Fenerbahce, their players. I don't think they could be too special. But we're gonna tune in anyway because we love our club.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll get coming back tomorrow night after Mr. B's watch along and smiling and talking about a win against his team. Not a 0-0 draw, Bath time. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I know, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Big up to Stefan. Make sure you follow Stefan at United Philosophy. Doing great things right now. Make sure you subscribe to him. United Philosophy, Stefan. You'll find him on YouTube right now. Make sure you subscribe. And we will see you soon, Stefan. Thanks again for popping by. But until tomorrow, guys, we're out. And
Lack a notch.
Lack a notch from me.
Lack a notch.
Lack a notch from me.
Okay.